hang on.
If a woman is essayed, and becomes pregnant from it, and she terminates that pregnancy, and becomes a murder charge, do you think that she has a right to kill her rapist? Sorry.
Now, I'm going to answer your question. I'm going to answer your question directly, but I want a promise from you.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm going to censor that from now on. I'm sorry.
Hang on.
God, let him fucking talk. Holy shit. Oh.
I'm going to answer your question directly, but I want to promise that after I give you the answer, you let me give an explanation without spurging the fuck out. You promise? I want you to say I promise.
I promise.
All right. So the answer is yes. She should carry the pregnancy to term. And here's my reasoning for why. So the idea here is that if you are SA'd, are you allowed to go home and kill one of your other children? The answer to that, hang on, before you fucking go fucking ballistic, calm the fuck down and just listen, okay? You're not allowed to go home and kill one of your other children. Why? Because you're murdering a life. Because you are SA'd does not then give you the right to kill somebody else just because you're SA'd. That makes no sense. So the same logic would be applied here. You don't believe this is a human life, so it's always justified. However, I do believe it's a human life. So what you're actually saying to me is, Andrew, because I was SA'd, do I now have permission to murder? And the answer is no, of course not.
We don't see it as murder.
I'm really disappointed, Andrew, because you seem like a really logical guy, and this is just it's just disappointing, frankly. Everything that you're saying.
It's not disappointing to me. It's not surprising at all.
Saying that you're disappointed by an argument but not refuting the argument is what's fucking disappointing.
There's nothing that I can say that you're going to tell me that I'm blowing up. You're going to tell me that I am making illogical arguments. If my rebuttal is my rebuttal, then how?
What I'll do is I'll listen carefully to your argument. I'll think about it. I'll conditionalize it. I'll see if it makes sense or doesn't make sense, and I'll either give you a counter argument or I'll agree with you.
So do you
I've
trust?
been doing the whole night.
Sorry, may I?
Go ahead.
Do you trust a doctor? Okay, if you get cancer, do you trust a doctor to cure that cancer?
Yeah.
Okay, if you break a bone, do you trust that doctor to fix your bone and to get you back on your feet or whatever it is?
Sure.
Okay, so if a doctor has the same moral imperative to cure your cancer and to fix a bone, and they also are able to terminate a pregnancy, why do you think that is now all of a sudden something completely different? It's different than a surgery.
Well, so you're making a category here. I'll explain. So I agree with you. A doctor can terminate a pregnancy, not that he ought to do so. So what we're talking about here is a moral imperative about whether a doctor should or should not do this. Like, for instance, you agree with me that a doctor could cut off your arm right now, right?
Yeah, but they wouldn't, the same way that they would.
Hang on. You agree with me that they could, right?
Sure.
Now I just answered yes.
They could, but they won't.
Yes, they could. But should they?
To the panel or not?
Mm-hmm. Should they?
Should they what? Cut off your arm?
Should they cut off your arm? Even though they can't.
Obviously they shouldn't. That's not part of their medical profession.
Obviously they shouldn't. So you asking me the question of, can a doctor do this? My answer is, of course they can do it, but should they do it?
Yes, they should. It's a medical procedure like anything else. I think that you're misunderstanding. Have you actually tracked what it's like? You have kids yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So you watched through your wife's pregnancies, if there was multiple, how that child grew, right? So there's a certain point where that child is quite literally a clump of cells about that big. I'm not saying that a kid who is in there.
But are you aware that all scientists consider that human life? All.
So is a plant then. So is everything. You eat steak.
A plant is plant life.
You eat steak. Is that murder?
I agree that I killed the cow. Yeah.
But that's not murder in your books because it's not a human person. Like what? A fetus isn't a human.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give animals the same moral consideration I give humans, but I still consider them animals.
So you consider humans animals? Humans are animals. Homo
humans
sapiens.
are Homo sapiens sapiens.
I give moral consideration to the category of animal that is human being.
How many kids have you adopted?
I do not give moral consideration to the category that is not human being.
Can I say something?
So therefore,
let her speak.
That is not fair. That doesn't make any sense.
During hunting season,
That doesn't make any sense.
Blast a deer in the fucking brain and watch his brain go everywhere, and I go out there and I cut his ass up and I munch his ass down, and he's delicious. He's delicious.
You're so manly.
I can't wait to do it again the next year.
Not really.
I have no moral consideration for a fucking deer. It has nothing to do with the human category. Nothing.
All right. Last couple super quick questions for you. Who's the primary victim of war, men or women?
Of war?
Yeah.
Well, men, but only because more men fight in wars.
Okay, fair. Are men or women physically stronger? That's for everybody.
Men are obviously physically stronger. That's science.
Can you be sexist towards men?
Absolutely. But I think that it's not as impactful as it is for women because men are the most scared of women making fun of them and women are scared that men will kill them.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll save that for next show, but disagree on that one.
I love how you guys love me to hate. You love to hate me.
Can you be racist towards white people?
You're not going to like my answer on this, Brian. No.
Why?
Because there's no actual like systemic racism against white people. There never has been. What am I going to do? Call you a cracker and you're going to get offended by that? No.
Don't say that. You can't say that.
I can't say
You're
cracker.
saying there's
Stop.
racism against white people?
Is it actually? Oh,
Yes.
shit. My bad. Sorry, guys.
You think there's no white racism against white people?
No.
heard of
Okay.
the,
You know what? Maybe let me think about that.
There's
we'll talk about it next
racism
time.
against
Ask you a question.
all races.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Please.
So do you think that the slave trade, when it came to Africans, was that evidence of racism?
Yes.
Black on black racism.
Girl, well, okay, whoa, yeah, that part too. But I'm not a historian. I would love to respond to these questions if I had actual because my opinion doesn't really matter on a lot of these subjects if I don't have anything to back it up.
Okay, was the slave trade evidence of racism?
When it comes from the Europeans purchasing human beings as
Americans.
property, absolutely.
Americans. Yeah.
Okay, yes, Americans. Yes,
So are you
absolutely.
aware that there was
I am very aware that
white people have been slaves throughout
Oh, yeah,
history?
dude, Irish people, Jewish people.
The Barbary slave trade.
Oh, absolutely. So I guess. Oh, I
There's
kind
been
of see your point
racism
now.
in
Totally.
every
Yeah.
continent,
But I
every
think that
culture, even Latinos.
But
We
it's
had our
not-
own. We had our own.
But listen,
slaves.
no, but I know I hear that and I totally see that and I understand that. But I think that goes down to like the racism towards specifically like Irish people, specifically Jewish people, which are white people, yes, but not white people as a whole. Like no one's ever. I'm German.
Okay, let me ask you a
And
question.
Swedish. No one's ever been racist to a Swedish person.
Barack Obama, he was the president of the United
Mm-hmm.
States. Let's say I'm hypothetical. This didn't actually happen to my knowledge. Let's say Barack Obama, the most powerful person in the world at the time, he had a white janitor and he fired him because he was white. Would that be racism?
That would be discrimination, not
How would that-
racism.
Why? What if he
not?
just wasn't
No,
doing his
wait.
job?
Maybe he wasn't doing his job.
Stop. Let me have.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna listen.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, just
No, I'm not
honestly,
gonna-
just peace out.
I need a little break.
Yeah, just.
I mean, again, like I think that I would have to think about it. I think that generally it is.
Calm down.
That is one of
Just
those.
calm down.
That is one of those.
Go that way though. Go that way.
Debated topics. I think that like it's pretty typical for a lot of people who are left leaning to think that what you can't be racist towards white people. However, I do think
So,
that in
okay,
those instances, but I am not like
What's
every
your definition
person.
of racism?
My definition of racism is discriminating based on stereotypes that people have made against a certain group of people, specifically bound by race. So being like having these ideas about who a person is and their characteristics just because of their skin color. I think that is racism. So it's hard to say like, okay, well, if you're going to fire the janitor because he's white, that maybe I guess could be racism, but it's because you say, oh, the thing is that there's no negative characteristics or connotations towards white people, really.
Yes, there are.
Like what?
Well, I'll have to think about.
Like
that.
what? That they're racist?
That would, in and of itself, be racist.
Wait, no, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, there's no, like when you think about the stereotypes towards Asian people, towards Black people, there's always negative connotations around that. But what stereotypes are there against white people?
It's kind of late. I need to think about this one. No, there certainly are. It's just I'd have to.
And we'll be right back next week.
Yeah. I think there's plenty. For example, I've heard this from people of color frequently, or even other white people. They'll say white people don't have culture. I think that would be a negative stereotype.
Okay.
All these other culture.
But is
all
that
these
saying
other
something
groups
bad about
have
them?
culture, but white people don't have culture, which is just factual.
I just don't think that's true.
I agree. It's not true, but people say it.
Okay, that's fair.
They say it's and
Yeah, totally.
they say white people don't have aura.
Girl, who says that? That's not racist. That's just
I've
a
heard that
read.
shit. I've
That's
heard
just
that
a read.
shit.
That was probably for. Oh, you know what? That's funny though, because when she was talking about white
what's
men.
the definition of racism?
No,
is
'cause
it prejudice plus power?
You know what though?
Is it prejudice plus power?
I feel like that Spider-Man meme right now, where we're both like pointing at each other, like, wait.
Okay, is it prejudice plus power?
Someone, where's freaking Andrew when we need him to pull up the Google definition?
Is your definition of racism prejudice plus power?
I don't know about plus power. I'm gonna have to get. My definition of racism, like I said, was stereotypes, negative connotations, and stereotypes based on skin color.
Okay.
So I guess prejudice is definitely included in that, but power, I mean, maybe they assume that there's a lower power there when it comes to racism.
Are you a feminist?
Yes.
Do you believe in the patriarchy?
Do I believe in I think that the patriarchy certainly exists. Do I think that it should be? No. But it freaking is what it is. I would like to fight it. Here's the thing that I think is a common misconception is because we're talking about the thing about like brute strength, right? Like men are stronger than women physically. No, it's not. Men are stronger than women physically, but so are we saying that men should and women should work the same exact positions and jobs? No. I'm talking about equity. And I think that that's something that people commonly misunderstand about feminism is they think that we should have the exact same standards for both. But it's like, no, like based on science, based on history, what is the equitable response to a situation? Like the pay gap. When it comes to like a corporate job.
Pay gap. But it's so late. I feel like we can't.
We can't even get into those right now. And honestly, Brian, I feel like me and you are really having a good time, and I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
Look at he's smiling at me, guys.
What is the pay gap though?
There's
It's
pay gap.
Maybe I'm just outdated. But it definitely was a thing back in the day for sure that women were getting paid less for the same jobs. Maybe it's not anymore because thankfully we fixed it, and that's a beautiful thing. But I don't know. I'm not a historian. I'm a fucking human person who has opinions, just like you guys are. Mm-hmm.
So wait, okay. Sorry guys, I'm like exhausted.
Brian, let's all go to bed.
I'm literally, my eyes are like.
Can we end it?
Wait, really? Okay, so you're a feminist.
Yes.
Do you believe in the patriarchy?
Do I believe that it exists?
Did I
yes.
ask that
You already
already?
did. Yeah, baby. We already went through this.
Brian,
Sorry, I'm drunk and tired.
He's had 3 sips of beer, you guys. 3.
Look, I'm a lightweight, okay? Under the patriarchy, are women oppressed?
I think that it is. I think that it's social oppression, where it's the sort of things where I am told that I am better. Like these kind of people in the chat are telling me that I'm better if I just shut up. I think that that is a form of oppression, in my opinion, because I'm not allowed to get angry without being called argumentative, but you guys can get angry and you're just being a man, which is again no hate to you guys at all, but it's just kind of double standards.
I don't think there's anything wrong with you arguing.
Yeah, I mean, I just like what did they call me earlier?
Well, yeah, the chats are also.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that like those chats, those people don't come out of nowhere. They come because of systemic. Oh my God, I'm also tired and a little bit drunk, guys.
So wait, okay. So women are oppressed socially.
I think to an extent, yes. Okay. But I think that also with it, I think also to an extent, yes. I think it's different.
Are you oppressed?
As a beautiful woman in my 20s, I don't think I'm oppressed as a lot of.
It's okay.
I'm losing it, guys. I'm losing it slowly. I feel like I would love to literally talk about this better on another day.
Yeah, we'll get you back on. We'll get you back
Brian.
on. We'll get you back on for sure. Last question though on this.
Okay.
Do men and women have equal rights? Can somebody mute that, please?
Who's it?
It's okay. Just hit this. Just silence. Just hit this.
I just think that you're just not gonna like my answers to these questions. I'm gonna say no. I don't think that we do.
Here, tilt your mic down, please.
Sorry, I don't think that we do. No.
Okay. What right does a man have that a woman doesn't?
Right to have control over his body, except for the draft, apparently, which you guys are talking about. Which is what? How?
What do you mean?
How do you have a right over your body that we don't?
Abortion, but
yeah.
So when we're talking about like equal rights, so using that word equal indicates that there's a comparison being made. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So men don't have any reproductive rights. So it's not a right that a man possesses that a woman doesn't.
Okay, sure. Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like, so for example, I can't compel a woman to go through with a pregnancy, and I also can't compel her to get an abortion.
But also there's no limitations on what you can do with your physical body made by the government. What you can or cannot do. Like name one law that obstructs you from doing something with your physical body.
The draft.
Well, okay, but as we discussed earlier, I don't really believe in that either. But
okay.
I think but that's completely different because can I just really quickly make this one point? I think that abortion is not my biggest issue.
Whether you want there to be a draft or not is irrelevant.
It does still exist.
Because the reality is, given the reality, men have to register for selective service. Then
you know what? And I see your point and I hear your point. However, how many Is there an imminent war where men are being drafted right now? No. But
Yes,
is there
Ukraine. In Ukraine. In the
How
Middle
many men
East.
got drafted this year to go to Ukraine?
Not okay.
None. But how many women had to
Hold
have
on.
were
In
forced to
Ukraine-
carry a term to pregnancy
in
or
Ukraine,
died?
They're literally okay. I don't know if you probably haven't because you wouldn't care. But men literally get abducted and physically assaulted.
Where are you getting this information from?
There's literally videos.
Send it to me.
Okay, let me finish. There's literally videos of men in Ukraine. They get abducted and beat up if they're trying to like dodge. the
That's
draft.
Ukraine. I thought we were talking about the U.S.
No, I'm talking about Ukraine. But
Why are we talking about Ukraine?
that's
I'm not Ukrainian. I thought we were talking about the U.S.
But even
the
in
U.S.
the
is
United
involved.
States,
The U.S. has involvement in that conflict.
But that's not our
young
military.
men at the age
But it's a
in
current
high school,
military
you
conflict.
can see it.
Let me have the
even-
exchange because, okay, I'm curious to hear what you all actually say. Let's.
Wait, no, I'm just confused though.
And I just one thing.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
remember being a student
breathtaking.
in high school.
Sorry, go ahead.
When I was in high school, I remember my friends having to sign up, my male friends having to sign up for the selective service. They had no choice. We didn't know what was going to happen 3 or 4 years from that point, but they had no choice.
Okay. I don't think that's a good thing. I think that
It's
fucking
not.
sucks.
It sucks.
But,
they
but
should make
the
women
odds
do
that you are
too.
going to get drafted to go into war are a lot lower than the odds that you might get pregnant and I need to terminate the
But
pregnancy.
women still have a choice to get pregnant or not. And yes, we
Girl,
do.
not if you get fucking
Yes,
raped. Not if you
we
get.
do.
Sorry.
Well, that's like 1% of the whole
Essayed.
population. And the only reason I know this because Candace Owens, thank you, mommy does. But that's
What does she know? Can
Okay,
we like
so-
this was
so
on such a
currently-
good
hold on,
note.
hold on.
I'm so upset.
So currently, look, there's
Don't be
two
upset,
current
Mom.
military
That's okay. That's
conflicts.
okay. Mm-hmm.
You've got Ukraine and you got what's going on in the Middle East, right? And so, like, and because of these current conflicts, I actually think we're closer to a potential like mass global war than at any point in the past.
Since World War II.
Since the Cold War.
Since the Cold War. Okay.
Yeah. So
Sure.
we're very
So
close.
if you get
We're very
drafted,
close.
but you haven't been drafted yet, and there's still these conflicts going on right now that have been going on for years now. So I'm just kind of confused as to what your point is. If you were gonna get drafted, you would have already been drafted.
Well, so currently there's not a draft in the United States, but there could be. Not every woman.
But there's currently abortion restrictions in the
This argument
States.
would just similarly apply to abortion.
I
Well,
think
you're
that,
not
yeah.
currently pregnant, ergo.
But there's a lot of women who are. But also, let me say something
Yeah,
really
but you're
quick
not
though.
currently pregnant, so abortion doesn't matter.
But what? Okay.
You're not.
Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack.
You're not currently pregnant.
Let's
therefore,
backtrack.
abortion doesn't matter.
Okay, I think that my biggest issue with the abortion rights is not actually about abortion itself. I honestly have not had an opinion about that, except for the fact that I think that I shouldn't have to have an opinion. I think that no one should except for the person who's having the baby. However, I think that that does open up a Pandora's box of opportunity for there to be more limitations on other things in and including restrictions on women's bodies. I think that it opens a Pandora's box because if the government is able to have some sort of limitation on that, what else are they able to do? Do you know what I mean? If they leave it up to the states, how everyone says that they want it to, like,
You think it's going to be like a Handmaid's Tale scenario?
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not going to expect the worst because I would like to think there's going to be a good country.
Already overturned. Donald Trump was already president. He didn't really walk back anything.
Okay. If that's what yeah, okay, sure.
What do you think? You think what are they going to do? They're going to enslave
I
women?
don't know what they're going to do.
You think when Donald Trump
I don't think they're
goes
going to be
into office,
enslaved, but I think that a lot of them are going to think the way that you think, which is that women shouldn't
Which is
have
what?
passions and dreams and should have 7 children with a man. I don't
I
and
thought you said there was nothing wrong with that.
if a woman chooses to do that, and if she wants
I don't
to be
wanna
that,
force women to do that.
okay, so then you shouldn't have voted
I'm
for that
prepared-
man.
I'm prepared to make a should claim.
I don't want to talk about
think-
this anymore.
Hold on. Hold on. So
Then I won't.
obviously, women. I'm not in favor of forcing women to have that certain lifestyle. But do I think they should? Yeah, I do.
By the way, I have to go now.
We're gonna wrap.
My Uber's
We're-
already here.
We're literally wrapping.
Can I have a makeup wipe?
You want to take it all off?
Well, because I'm gonna go straight to bed after this.
She's gonna have
like, I'm
to,
gonna
have to
No,
pay for her
never mind.
Uber.
I can't have one.
If you stay for the rest of the show, then we can.
Oh.
Ryan
I'll let the
donated
messages come in.
$20. I don't want her back.
So I can't have a makeup wipe.
So wait, okay. Can you name one right that men have that women don't?
At this current moment, I cannot think of anything. But I'm not talking about the right now, I'm talking about the could be. And that's just as terrifying in my opinion. You're worried about a draft that could be. Why can't I be worried about something else that could be?
Well, the current law is like there's a current law.
You just said that there's not currently a draft, but you're worried about a draft.
No, there's just a law that requires men to register for selective service. There's not currently a draft.
Okay, well, I'm worried. I don't know. I'm just worried.
Right,
I don't know.
We'll
let's
get
not.
to it next time.
Ryan doesn't want me back, so that's it.
Even if we had this exchange, I still want you back. So, all right.
Christopher Scott donated $20.